Well, I'm here back again to expose for a second time the Clippers organization, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, everyone over there in that situation. Because Doc Rivers thought it was a good idea to go ahead and expose the entire organization, himself included, the Clippers owner, everybody, in a tell-all piece to the Los Angeles Times. I don't know what he was thinking. He probably thought it was a good idea. But what he said was completely exposing it. It backfired very badly. What he said made them look very tragic, very sad, and very embarrassing. I can't believe it. Laker fans were doing amazingly right now. Not a bump in the road. We had a little bump in the road with DeMarcus. Boom, we got Dwight, just like that. Wow. It's just hard for us to lose, you know? But I'm about to go ahead and go over this information with you guys because once again, Laker Prophet, I don't let stuff slide. I knew something fishy was going on over there, how they got Kawhi, all that. I knew it. We're gonna dive into it, okay? Now, if you don't know the background of everything that happened and how Kawhi tried to finesse the Lakers, failed miserably. If you didn't know that, go ahead and look at the link in the description, first link. I'll put the video that I made. You guys really enjoyed it. There was 43,000 views, something like that, on that video, and you guys enjoyed how I broke it down. So I'm about to do the same exact video, but with this new added information that's almost even worse for the Clipper fans. I feel bad for you guys. I feel awkward even making this video because I shouldn't even be, I feel like this is too sad to be true. Wow. Too embarrassing to be true. So let's go ahead and dive into it. By the way, this article is on the LA Times website, so you can see it. Like, it's just there for everyone to see. The Clippers are just fine with this being up. It's embarrassing. But let's go ahead and dive into it. Basically, he was talking to a LA Times reporter, okay? And he's talking about all this extra stuff. I said, Doc, skip to the juicy part. You know you have some embarrassing facts to reveal. So he finally got to the juicy part, the first part of it, okay? Now, I'm gonna go over this in chronological order. You guys can literally see, this is the article. This is real. He literally thought this was a good idea, okay? So I'm not gonna go in chronological order. I'm gonna skip one thing and come back to it. It's called tampering. Very wild accusations being made, and then Doc Rivers literally exposed his own owner in this. We'll get to that in a second, but let's go ahead and dive right into the meat of things, okay? Kawhi, the Clippers, the meetings, and the behind the scenes, okay? So the first thing that Clipper fans are kind of like going crazy over, like they're really happy for and they're really excited. This is why, okay? I feel bad, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Kawhi agreed to meet with the Clippers at Doc Rivers' own home, okay? Very personable, very, you know, warm welcome, everything like that. However, Kawhi Leonard forced the Lakers to meet him in his stanky hotel room. Very disrespectful, very rude. Now, what's crazy to me is that Lakers got everything ready, by the way. According to Doc Rivers, Lakers had their facility ready and Kawhi made them go to the hotel room, which is crazy because I know good and well, Clippers facility, any Clippers staff facility or home is hot. You know why? Because they don't have any ice to cool it down. We have 16 trophies, sweetie. 16 rings full of jewels, full of diamonds, very icy, and you have none. I know it's hot. You know, we had a lot of things to cool it down in there, yet you still passed on it and forced us to meet you in your hotel room. That's disgusting. That's very disrespectful, and karma will come back to get you, sweetie, and that's not on me. So I'm just gonna move on from that. But basically, Clipper fans were hung up on that one part of this entire thing where he exposed the Clippers organization. They were hung up on that one fact. And what's crazy is, let me tell you what this man Kawhi said to the Clippers staff faces as he walked into their house. He walked into their house and roasted them. Let me tell you what he said. This is all out of the mouth of Doc Rivers right here, okay? This is what he said, and I quote, "I want to play for you," and he pointed at me. He said, "Mr. Ballmer, I love the things you do and what you stand for, but your team is not good enough. And if you don't change your team, I'm not gonna." Imagine inviting a player to your own team. You're excited. Yes, he might sign with the Clippers. Finally, we're losers. He's gonna sign with us. And he sits there and looks you dead in the eyes and says, "You're trash, and I'm not signing with you unless people come." Clipper fans, though, were excited that they took the meeting at the house and the Lakers had a meeting at the hotel. Like, that's the one thing they're grasping out of this entire situation. Now, here's what I'm grasping out of this as a logical thinker. Laker fan, goes hand in hand. Basically, what he just said was that the supporting cast he would have been joining was trash, and he refused to come to your team without a co-star. Now, when I said that a couple months back, y'all called me a hater. Well, the Clippers went to the playoffs last year without them, and they're a great team, all yada yada. But Kawhi himself, out of his own mouth, told you that you were trash. Now what, is Kawhi lying too? We're all just lying to you? That's crazy, isn't it? Now, compare that to our supporting cast he would have been joining. He would have been joining LeBron James. I don't care how old, washed up you think he is. We have LeBron James. No matter how you slice it. We have Anthony Davis, arguably in that same top 5. You know, and we're comparing that supporting cast to you guys. Montrezl Harrell, Lou Will. Do you not comprehend? Get it through your brain. That's embarrassing. He literally told you that they weren't enough. And then there were Laker fans on Twitter saying, really? I'm shocked. You're saying that Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell weren't enough? I said, Laker fans, we gotta stop bullying the Clippers, okay? Let the Clipper fans live. They got Kawhi, they're happy. Let's let them, don't bully them. But it was true, but I'm just like, let's let them live. Another Laker fan got on Twitter talking about, so he literally came to you guys' house, roasted you, told you were trash, and bullied you into giving up 6 picks for Paul George. But that was a win because he came to your house. I said, bro, Laker fans, we have to stop speaking logic to these Clipper fans. Let them live in their emotions. They only get so many wins over their entire career. I mean, they've been around for how long? And they've gotten how many wins? Literally 0. This is the biggest thing that's happened to their franchise ever, literally. So let's let them have it. Laker fans, stop speaking knowledge, okay? Chill out, Laker fans. But just know, Kawhi even told you to your face that your team is trash, like I've been saying. But now, when he says it, he's right, okay. That means that you, Clipper fans, have been wrong this entire time. Admit it, and move on. Yes, it's embarrassing. Yes, it's very sad, very revealing, but you have to swallow that pill. You were wrong. You were trash. And that's the tragic truth. Moving on, there's even more to this story, guys. Now, mind you, the Clippers gave out 6 first-round picks for Paul George and 2 former first-round picks in Danilo Gallinari and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Goodness gracious, for Paul George, right? And so, Doc Rivers said, Steve Ballmer was nervous about the picks. I told him, Steve, you keep saying 6 picks for Paul George is insane, but you're saying it wrong. It's not 6 for Paul, it's 6 for Paul and Kawhi. So it's really 3 for each. I would do that. You have to look at it in those terms. Now, here's what I'm gonna say, just as a logical person in general. I would probably use that same logic if I was a Clipper fan. And if the tables were turned and this was a Laker thing, I would use that same logic. I would try to break it down into, well, technically, if we don't get Paul George, we don't get Kawhi. So really, we're trading all those people for both of them. It makes sense, it's logical. I get it. And if I was in that situation, I would say the same thing. But at the end of the day, on paper, you traded 6 first-round picks for Paul George. And really, it's 8 at the end of the day because it's 2 players that were both first-round picks. Danilo Gallinari, you guys are acting like you have the same exact roster from last year when those 2 guys did heavy lifting. Danilo Gallinari did a heavy lifting for the Clippers, and sayonara, he's gone. He's on the Oklahoma Farms now, banished to the Oklahoma Farms. Yes, now here's another thing that I'm getting out of this. Clipper fans, do not ever get past me. The Laker Prophet is always on it. Remember my last video. Guys, if you haven't seen it already, you should have just clicked off and watched that first and then come back to this video. But if you haven't watched it, remember when I said Paul George was his plan C because there were reports that he had asked guys like Kevin Durant and Jimmy Butler and somebody else to join forces with him on the Clippers, and every single one of them said no. Understandably. Anybody would do that, any rational human being, so it makes sense, right? And so now, Doc Rivers is trying to put out the narrative that he only wanted Paul George. He didn't want anybody else. Paul George was his plan A. This is what Doc Rivers is trying to say. Do I believe him? Absolutely not. Could he be right? Absolutely. I don't believe him for a second, period. There's no way a guy sees all these free agents and he asks the signed dude in a contract on a team first before any free agent. And all the reports saying that he was talking to these people and all that stuff were just all fake, but Doc Rivers' word was true. I don't believe it. It just doesn't even make sense. However, if we even go along with the theory that Paul George was his plan A, it's funny because in my last video, I was talking about how he was a plan C, and all the Clipper fans were saying Paul George was already in a contract, he was already on a team, so of course he's asking the free agents first. Duh, that's why he was plan C. Of course he's gonna ask all the free agents first. Of course he was gonna do that. Now it comes out that he didn't even ask any of them. Wow. So now you are wrong yet again. If this Doc Rivers statement is true, which is, I just don't believe it, you were also wrong in that sense. So Clipper fans once again are taking multiple L's throughout this video. This is like the second one they've taken. You know, the first one was letting him go into your house and call your team trash when last year you were telling me that it wasn't trash. That really hurt, goodness gracious. Then Kawhi comes into your house and says it. And then now this, you know, bullying your organization into giving up really 8 first-round picks for Paul George. Very embarrassing. Let's move on, because you have more L's to take, Clipper fans, believe it or not. Laker fans, how are y'all doing? Y'all good? I know you're feeling fine today. I know you are. Blessings and peace to you. Now, as far as Clipper fans, come here, because I need to tell you something else. Very sad. Now, here's what's really tragic, okay? Apparently, the day of the trade, at 12 o'clock noon that day, the deal was off, okay? And people were saying he was going to the Lakers, or possibly the Raptors. That's what Doc Rivers was hearing. And the deal with the Clippers was off at that point. The day of the trade, 12 noon that day, right? It says, what Rivers really couldn't stomach was the idea of Leonard signing with the Lakers. As hard as the Clippers had worked to gain respectability in the city, which they haven't gained it. So whoever wrote this, sweetie, you made a grave mistake. Losing Leonard to the Lakers would likely have been a knockout blow. Once again, what are you talking about? Knockout blow. There's no knockout. You can't deliver a knockout blow to someone who is already down. It's impossible. So let's just get that straight. And then it just goes on with Doc Rivers whining, talking about, we can't allow that to happen. We can't let them go to the Lakers. I just can't see them go to the Lakers, which once again, you know, they always have us on their minds. You know, they live to just live up to us. They don't even really want to win. They just want to be like the Lakers, you know? So ending the Lakers, they just can't stand. They can't see it happen. With us, it's like, it's annoying. They're annoying, but like, we have our own stuff going on. 16 of them, to be exact. But let's just move on. He said, now this is probably one of the saddest parts of this entire thing, because what I've been saying for years, what Laker fans have been saying for years, he's literally confirming it. Clipper fans literally will have nothing to say after this, yet they will still find a way to twist the narrative and change it and come up with something. But I'm about to share what he said. The knockout blow is what Doc Rivers is saying right now. He literally delivered it to his own team. Team morale should be at a 0 right now. Very embarrassing. Let's go ahead and read it together. He says, I actually told Steve, jokingly, that if that happens, we are moving the team to Seattle. It was a joke, but I was actually serious about it. I really believed that. I don't think you guys really understand what he just is saying right there. He's literally, listen to me, come. He's listening. He's literally admitting that without Kawhi, they are so worthless that they might as well have moved out. Literally saying that this was the only thing keeping them relevant. The only thing keeping them relevant. Otherwise, they would literally be so worthless that they aren't even worthy enough to stay in LA. When I say that's a crazy coincidence, because I'm sorry, but haven't I been saying that for the last 15 million years? Wow. And Clipper fans under my comments, you guys know, because some of you are the Clipper fans in my comments, talking about that's not true, we've been relevant, we've been in the playoffs this whole time. Literally, your own coach just invalidated your past recent years of playoff success, which you've never gotten to a Western Conference Finals in your entire history. That's another story in itself, but he just invalidated all of that and said if we didn't get this one dude, you would have to move, because it would have been that much of a low blow. You would have been that worthless. But I could have sworn you guys as fans were saying that you guys were the best team in LA. playoff wins and all that stuff. Made big runs in the playoffs and all of that. Ever going past the second round, but big runs, you know, to you guys, big runs. But your coach literally just sat there and told Los Angeles Times that if they didn't get this one player, he seriously believed, he was joking, but he actually believed that they would have to move. Now, this is so embarrassing that I feel awkward right now. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, that has to be one of the most embarrassing things. Imagine your own coach saying something like this. I literally could never imagine that. Does anybody else feel like awkward? Like I feel embarrassed for them. I don't know. And what's tragic is that's not even all. There's 2 more strikes, 2 more L's that the Clippers have to take in this video. Okay, here's the next one. We caught Paul George in yet another lie. Okay, we know he's been lying from the jump. You know, he's talking about, oh, he's always wanted to go to the Clippers. Ooh, he's always longed to play for the Clippers. Yet, when he requested that trade, he didn't request to go to the Clippers, he requested the Lakers. Yet, we have pictures of him in the Lakers jerseys when he was young. Old tweets of him saying conflicting things. He was a Clipper fan and a Laker fan. You know, tweets saying either one. Yet he still requested a trade to the Lakers. It's embarrassing for you, but he sat there on the press conference, lied to the fans of the Clippers, all 3 of them. He lied to all 3 of them and told them that he was always longing to come to the Clippers. Very tragic. So now we caught him in yet another lie. He says it was a mutual agreement to be traded by the Thunder and all of that stuff, right? Sam Presti, you know what I'm saying, OKC GM, comes out and says he doesn't really agree with Paul George's use of the term mutual in trading him. He notes it wasn't adversarial, but certainly not something the Thunder wanted to do. Okay, now, there's plenty of reasons why you might do that. You know, you don't want the dude to be trapped on your team, and now he doesn't want to be playing for you, and now he's playing for you. So he probably demanded that, look, trade me to the Clippers, you know what I mean? And then he got on stand and talked about, it was mutual. Bro, you didn't even have to lie about that. It wasn't even like a big deal to lie about, but you did. Wow! I believe Sam Presti. I don't think he willingly gave you up like that. I know they stole 6 picks from you and 2 players, but I don't think he willingly gave you guys up. So you know, like, you guys are getting lied to left and right. Clipper fans, all 3 of you are getting lied to. And this is the last final blow. This is the last one. It's kind of a 2-part, 1A and 1B of the last strike. So Clipper fans, buckle up. You know, buckle up. Actually, matter of fact, all 3 of the Clipper fans, you guys could probably fit in one seatbelt. So buckle up, because this is gonna be a funny one. A tragic one. Because if you've been on Twitter recently, follow my Instagram and my Twitter as well to keep up to date with certain things. I'm about to be starting some new series and stuff on there, so stay tuned. But if you've been online and present recently, you would know that the consequences for tampering and the fines and everything have been increased dramatically, because this summer, free agency was kind of taken as a joke. As soon as free agency started, trades were already announced and players already signed like an hour afterwards. It's impossible to have a whole meeting and everyone discuss within an hour, meaning that the teams already met with players. Players had been communicating with teams and things like that before the deadline. So basically the whole free agency thing was a joke. Adam Silver wasn't having it. Now, it's funny how this all of a sudden started to pick up, because even before Kawhi chose, Kawhi was like one of the last big free agents out there, and it was still beginning of free agency, like a couple days in. It was already over, besides Kawhi. But this whole tampering thing is just now becoming a problem, and they're just now addressing it. And here's what's crazy about this. Let me deliver the final blow to these Clipper fans real quick, and then Lakers, we'll get to our videos back again. I'm sorry, but I just had to. The final blow. Let me read this to you. It says, the push to strengthen tampering rules, including a huge increase in the amount of potential fines, was born out of a historic free agency period that witnessed several stars change teams in an acrimonious climate. Very unnecessary vocabulary words, however. Look it up if you don't know. Now, the recruitment of Kawhi Leonard became fraught with charges that his uncle and advisor, Dennis Robertson, requested benefits outside the boundaries of the salary cap, league sources said. I'm gonna read that back. It said, they requested benefits outside the boundaries of the salary cap. Now this has been reported by many people, right? Lots of charges. That's why it says fraught with charges, okay? So this had just kind of just now become a topic, and now all of a sudden they're increasing tampering fines and tampering stuff. That's awkward. So I don't know if it's true or not. It could be true, it could not be true. But the fact that a bunch of people are bringing charges, all I say is where there's smoke, there's fire. Something could happen. You're not safe, Kawhi. But here's the final tragic truth of this whole video is because literally Doc Rivers snitched like 6ix9ine. Snitched on his own staff. He told the LA Times the Clippers owner and some of the Clippers staff would just go attend Raptors games. Go to Toronto and attend Raptors games and sit courtside and all that stuff. He literally said that on the record. Mid tampering issues. Wow! So, you know what's going on. You know that you might have been involved in some shady stuff. And you're gonna tell LA Times that they literally flew all the way to Toronto. It's not like it's in the country. They went to a whole nother country to just sit in the stands and watch Kawhi. And now all of a sudden, all these tampering consequences are getting ramped up. I'm not saying that it's true. All I'm saying is what Doc Rivers said and the allegations. It's not looking good, Clippers fans. I'm done with this video because at the end of the day, right now, I'm feeling really like awkward, like I said. I'm feeling really bad. I'm feeling really embarrassed for you because like this is the biggest thing that's happened to you in your entire career. Face it. Your own coach said it. Your own player that you wanted to come said it. Literally, he told you guys that you were wrong, that your team was indeed trash all these years. Doc Rivers said it again in the interview. You can read it for yourself. Look at my wallpaper, by the way. Very beautiful, however, that's not the point. And now it's all these tampering charges and all this extra stuff. Paul George lying to you. It's just like, I feel like you guys can't really win. Like anytime you win, you still lose because you're the Clippers. That's just in your DNA. Do you have a DNA? That's the next question we're gonna go to, but I don't think so. Discuss that among the 3 Clipper fans there really are, true Clipper fans. The rest of the bandwagons, you don't have a say, sweetie. You should just be ashamed. But anyways, I have to end this video literally like, I'm done. I feel horrible because Lakers are doing great. We had a minor speed bump in DeMarcus Cousins, immediately rectified that with the quick and timely and amazing signing of Dwight Howard, a very low risk, a very high reward, and we just got over that very quickly. You know what I mean? And you guys are just dealing with all this stuff. Don't forget, they were already charged with tampering earlier. Doc Rivers was fined $50,000 for tampering already. So it's just now it's just becoming a lot. But at the end of the day, I'm done. I can't keep perseverating on the Clippers. It's bringing my energy down. As a queen, it's bringing me down. And as kings out there and queens of Laker fandom, you know what I mean? It's bringing all of us down to even think about them. So let's get out of that, guys, okay? Just like this video if you enjoyed it, if you learned a little something, if we exposed them yet again, and comment down below what you guys think about this new information. That's all. I just want to hear you guys' opinions. I'm gonna read and respond to all of them. Just let me know, okay? Click this video here if you haven't seen it yet, and subscribe to the Splash Squad, and just be on the lookout, guys, for the next video will be about fantasy basketball, okay? I know a lot of you guys wanted me to do one for a long time, and OGs know I did one like a while back, but I'm bringing it back. I'm gonna do it with subscribers, so you guys will literally be able to be in the videos and stuff like that. So just be on the lookout for that video, okay? Click it fast and comment and everything. Just letting you know ahead of time. If you're still watching this to this part, you're a real one, so you deserve to know, okay? Follow my social medias. Click right here if you haven't seen this video. I already said it, but I'm sure they didn't pop up then. Subscribe to the Splash Squad down here. I'll see y'all later. Clipper fans, I'm sorry. What can I say? Very embarrassing.